Hey guys, Joshua Neal here, and today we're taking a look at Wings of Feather and Wax by Kill or Be Killed. Remember, if you enjoy the lesson, please click like and let me know. You can also leave me any comments or questions you may have, as well as requests for songs you would like me to do. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and as always, grab that full note and tab transcription down in the box so that you can follow along at home. Alright, let's get to it. Before we get started, we'll need to tune our bass. Now, Troy Sanders, who's the bass player for Mastodon, if you're not familiar with Kill or Be Killed, it's a supergroup that features, among many people, Troy Sanders from Mastodon. He tunes to drop C on this one, which involves dropping all of your strings a whole step down to D standard, and then you're going to lower the E string another whole step to C. So from low to high, you would have C, G, another C, and F. You don't actually need the high string for this one, so if you only want to retune the 3, if you're only going to be playing this song, you can do that as well. I'm using my fingers on this one. Troy Sanders bounces between using his fingers and using a pick, depending on the song, but it looks like this is a song that he uses his fingers on, so I'm going to be doing that. Let's get right into it. After that volume swell, that feedback at the beginning, which does last about 4 beats, so if you want to count it off, it does last about 4 counts. We're going to have 3 sharp hits on the low E string. Just like that. And that goes with all of the other instruments. It's a little difficult to catch with the recording, but once you've listened to it a couple times, it's really not that bad. And that takes us into the verse riff, which is going to look like... start on the 5th fret of the A string. I'm going to refer to all the strings by their usual names just to keep things simple. Starting on 5th fret of the A string, you're going to hit that once, and then you're going to finish out the measure with open E strings. And 2, and 3, and 4, and. So that'd be 5, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. And now we're going to be bouncing between the A and the E string. We're going to go 3rd fret, open E, 5th fret, open E, 6th fret, open E, 3rd fret, open E, 5th fret. And we're gonna, that starts the riff over again. So the whole sequence so far is 5, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 6, 3, and then back to 5 to start it over. Very common in heavy metal to bounce between a higher note and the low open string. We're going to do that a total of 3 times, and then the last time through, we're going to start the same way. On the 5th fret of the A, open, 2, and 3, and 4, and. We jump up to the 8th fret of the A string. We're going to hold that for 2 counts, and then the 6th fret of the A string we're also going to hold for 2 counts. So that last time through would be 5, 0, 2, and 3, and 4, and 8, and 6, and right back to the 5th fret, and it starts over. So all the way through again, 5, 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, 3, 5, 6, 3, 5. Here it comes. 8, and 6, and you would go through that whole sequence one more time. That's going to be both of the verses. From there, we would go into a chorus, and the first time through the chorus, most of the times through the choruses are exactly the same. It's just the ending is a little bit different. We're going to start on the 5th fret of the A string, and we're going to play even 8th notes for 2 measures. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. We're going to go down to the 1st fret, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Up to the 3rd fret, 1, and 2, and 3. Quick hit on the 1st fret on the end of 3, and then finish it out with the 3rd fret again. So that would be 3, 3, 1, 3, 3. And he's going to do this kind of figure throughout the entire chorus. From there, we go back to the 5th fret. We're going to do that for even 8th notes, 2 measures again. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and up to the 3rd fret of the D string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5th fret of the D string. 1 and 2 and 3. Quick jump to the 3rd fret and right back to the 5th fret for 2 more hits. So kind of like we did with the 3 to 1, we're going to do 5 to 3. 2, 3, and right up to the 7th fret at this point. At this point, we're grabbing fifths compared to the actual chord. The guitars are just doing. But Troy tends to mix up his bass lines when he's playing. He does a lot of cool harmonies up against the chord. Kind of an old school bass player that way, which is really, really cool. So we're right up to the 7th fret at this point. We just did 3 and 5. Right up to the 7th fret, and we've got this repeating figure here where we do 7 for 3 eighth notes and then the 5th fret to finish it out. And 2 and. We're going to do that 3 times. 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. The last one is all 7th fret. 4 hits on that. We're going to hop up to the 8th fret, and we're going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and a 3. We're going to hit the 7th fret and go right back to the 8th fret for 4 and. Then we're up to the 10th fret here, getting a little high. 10 and 2 and 3, 8th fret, back to the 10th fret for 4 and. So that's that repeating figure I was talking about. Up to the 12th fret now, we're going to do kind of like the 7th fret thing that we did. 12, 10, 12, 10. Then we have this cool little minor scale run that we get to do, which looks like. So that's going to be 12th fret of the D, 10th fret, 13 on the A, back to 10 on the D, 13 on the A again, 12, 13, 12. So it's just right down your minor scale shape that if you've practiced any of your minor scales, you'll probably recognize this box shape. After that run, we're going to hop up to the 14th fret. We're going to hit that for a whole measure. 8th notes for a whole measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're going to go to the 15th fret. We're going to do 4 8th notes on that. 1 and 2 and. Then we're going to hop down to the 15th fret of the low E string, and we're going to do a big slide down to the bottom of the neck. And that's going to take us into our solo interlude, which is just the verse riff again. So let me go through that chorus one more time. Now that I've broken it down, we're going to put it all together, starting on the 5th fret of the A string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1st fret, 2 and 3 and 4. 3rd fret, 3, 1, 3, 3, 5th fret, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3rd fret on the D, 3, 4, 5th fret, 5, 3, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, all 7s, 8, 8, 7, 8, 10, 10, 8, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 13, this is that run, 14 on the D, 15, big slide on the E. Doesn't necessarily have to be the 15th fret, you just want a big slide down, and that's going to take you back to the verse riff, this guy. One revolution through the verse riff underneath the solo, and then at this point you would go back in the form, you'd play another verse progression, and you would play another chorus progression, and the only difference between this second chorus and the first chorus is the ending. When we get to the end after the little minor scale run up on the 12th fret of the D string, instead of going up to the 14th fret of the D string, we're going to go to the 8th fret of the E string. And we're going to hold that for 4 counts. And then the 10th fret, we're going to hold that for 4 counts as well. So from the high run that we do, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. And then we go right into the first bridge, which I'm going to show you the simplest way to play it, but you can actually toy with this. On the recording, it sounds like it was played very simply. When you watch Troy play this live, it's a little more complicated, I think, just depending on how he's feeling at that moment. But it's going to start with a big power chord. We're going to be on the 5th fret of the A string and the 7th fret of the D string, and you're going to give that a big rake, hit both strings at once. And while continuing to let the D string ring out, so you want to keep your finger in place, either your pinky or your 3rd finger, you're going to just crank even 8th notes on the 5th fret of the A string, like this. You're going to just let that keep ringing. Try to hold on to it. If you've got a good amount of distortion or a good preamp going, that note should keep ringing for a while. If it doesn't, just keep your finger in place there. It's a lot easier than taking it away when you hear the note die. Just don't even worry about it. You're going to have almost 4 measures where you sustain that high note and play even 8th notes on the 5th fret of the A string. 2, 3, and 4, and 2, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4. Right here, you're going to catch the 5th fret of the D string, and then you're going to start the progression over again with the big power chord rake. So that 1st, 2nd, and 3rd ending looks like right back into the even 8th notes. Now, if you watch any live videos of this, whenever you see Troy play it live, he's going to hit, he might hit even 8th notes, but sometimes you'll see him catch little bits of the drum beat while just on that low note, while letting the other stuff sustain. Just whatever you want to do there, whatever you're feeling in the moment. You can keep it nice and simple, like I did, or you can catch the tribal feeling of the drums. It's whatever you're feeling like right there. That's if you're looking at the transcription, and I hope you are, that's what ad lib underneath the part means. It means to improvise, to make it up a little bit. 3 times through that whole progression, and then the very last time, instead of getting to do the 5th fret on the D back to the 7th fret, we've got this little run that takes us into the next part, and that's going to be 5th fret on the A, 3rd fret, back to the 5th fret, 6th fret, 8, 6, 3, 5. So coming into that from the beginning of the bridge into the 4th ending would be 8 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right there. And that'll take us right into bridge number 2. Bridge number 2 starts up high, and then it's going to go lower after we've played it a couple times. We're going to start on the 6th fret of the D string, and we've got this repeating figure where we play the 6th fret for 1 beat, and then we do 6, 7, even 8th notes. We're following the guitars here. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Now right here, you're going to hammer onto the 7th fret, then you're going to pick the 7th fret again, slide up to 9, and then pick 9 again, slide up to 10. And then you're going to start it over. So altogether we've got 6, 6, 7, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Here it comes. 6, 7, 7, 9, 7, 9, 10. 6, 7, 7, 9, 9, 10. If you're uncomfortable with the slides, you could also just pick everything individually. That would work too, but that adds a little bit of extra color to it, which is really cool. The second time through, instead of doing this sliding run on the higher C string or on the D string, you're going to move it down to the E string. So it would look like right down to the 6th fret of the E. because these strings are tuned in octaves, it's the exact same frets, the exact same shape. So that would be from the beginning of that bridge into the second ending would look like. Here it comes. And then you're going to just continue on the low string. So you're going to be playing 6 and 7 on the E string rather than on the D string. And the first time through, it's going to be the same. 6, 6, 7. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. So that's 6, 7, 7, 9, 9, 10. Same riff. Second time through, right here, instead of going back to the 6th fret, you're going to have 4 sharp hits on the open E string. Just real tight hits, kind of like we did in the beginning. And that takes us into the third bridge, which looks like... So we're going to start right on the 4th fret of the A string. We're going to hit that once, down to the 3rd fret of the E string. That's 4, 3, 3, 3. And you're almost always going to be returning to this 3rd fret of the E string for 3 hits. So we've got 4 on the A, 6 on the E, back to the 3rd, 6 again, 7, back to the 3rd. So that's 4, 3, 3, 3, 6, 3, 3, 3, 6, 3, 7, 3, 3, 3. We're going to start again. 4, 3, 3, 3, 6, 3, 3, 3, 6, 3, 3, 3. Now right here a little bit different. You still go to the 7th fret, but then you're going to come back to the open E for 3 hits. So that's 7 open. You're going to start it over again. It's going to go through the exact same way, except when you get to the part where you would hit the open E strings, you're just going to stop. So that would be 4, 6, 6, 7, 4, 6, 6, 7. Tight hit on the 7th fret, and the guitars fill in that gap there before we go to the next part. And that takes us into the main solo, which is going to start on the 6th fret of the A string, and it's this consistent repeating figure. You're going to hit the 6th fret 4 times. This is all even eighth notes. 1 and 2 and up to the 9th fret for 2 of those. Then 1 hit on the 7th fret, and then 1 hit on the 10th fret. And you're going to start over. So it's 6, 6, 6, 6, 9, 9, 7, 10. 6, 6, 6, 6, 9, 9, 7, 10. And you're going to do that 7 times total. And then the very last time, you're just going to play even eighth notes on the 6th fret. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So altogether it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's going to go back into a chorus, which is also the outro. The first time through, it's going to be exactly the same as the first chorus, and then the second time through, it's a little bit different. So the just real quick, so you can see it again, this is what the first chorus progression in this case would look like. 5th fret, 1, 3, little thing, 5, 3, 5, thing, 7, 8, 10, 12, little fill, 14, 15, slide. Now here's where it changes. We're going to be on the open E string at this point. We're going to have 2 measures of even eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up to the 1st fret of the A string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the 3rd fret. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back to the open E string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3rd fret of the E string. So we're remember the D string and the E string right now are tuned in octaves. So we're going to be doing very much the same riff, just an octave lower and a lot simpler. After those 2 measures of open E, we're going to end up on the 3rd fret of the E string for a full measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5th fret for a measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7th fret for 2 measures. So we don't have any of that 7 to 5, just straight up 7th fret all the way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 8th fret for a measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up to the 10th fret. And this is the one time in this section that he does that little lower neighbor trick. 10, 10, 8, 10, 10. That's the only time that happens. Up to the 12th fret of the E string for a full measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we got a quick hop up to the 12th fret of the D string. We're going to do that minor scale run. 12, 10, 13, 10, 13, 12, 13, 12. Just like we do in the other choruses. Quick hop to the 8th fret of the E string. Hold that for 4 counts. 10th fret, hold that for 4 counts. And then big hit on the open E. And just let it ring. And that's it. There it is, guys. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, be sure to click like and let me know. You can also leave me any comments or questions you may have, as well as requests for songs you'd like me to do. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and grab that full note and tab transcription down in the box so that you can practice this one at home. And until next time,